Look into this for 30 seconds if you want to detach. If you thought that's what this video was gonna be, you can click off now because that's just not what this is. We're all living by a set of specific laws, and the most brutal one is the law of attachment. The more you need a specific outcome is the more power you give away from it. Now, if you pay attention, you usually can tell in the first 30 seconds if someone is attached or detached. The person who's attached is always selling themselves. They're always looking for validation. They're always looking to see how they can fit in the room. Constantly adjusting the way they act to fit in. You can kind of feel it if you pay attention because they're always seeking the validation. They need you to think a certain way about them. They're begging you for an identity. They aren't really like present. They're just waiting on the reaction. Then there's the detached. They aren't cold or unfeeling, they're just like hypnotized. They have a natural gravity because they have stopped asking the world to be who they already are. They aren't trying to force the conversation, and because of that, they're the most magnetic person in the room. The reason most of us are stuck in this hypnotized state is because we view detachment as a loss. We think if we stop obsessing over our goals or our relationships, we'll lose our edge, but it's actually the opposite. The mechanism of attachment is a feedback loop in your brain. You send out a need. I need this to work. I need them to like me. And your brain builds a simulation on that outcome. And when reality doesn't match that simulation you created, you lose and you suffer. That's the trance. How do you break that loop? You have to learn how to let go. Letting go doesn't mean you stop working towards what you want. It means you stop being a slave to the outcome. A slave to the results. Instead of being a slave to the results, you shift your necessity to the preference and the why you're doing it. It's like telling yourself, I would prefer to have this, but I'm already complete without it. When you feel that tightness in your chest, that stomach dropping feeling, that's your sign to detach. 9 times out of 10, you acknowledge the desire, you label it as attachment, and you continuously let that attachment eat you alive. You release the, I need this to happen right now. This has to happen. You stop gripping the steering wheel so hard. Detachment is just finding who you are without the noise. Try it for 24 hours. Look at your life and ask yourself, why am I acting like a beggar? Why are you selling yourself to a situation or a person asking for a return on investment? Identify that. Admit that you're attached and then intentionally release that grip. Stop chasing the outcome and then just show up for the process. When you stop begging for a result, you finally get to see what's left of you. And the version that's left, the one that isn't desperate for anything, is the one that actually gets everything that it needs. A lot of the time, attachment is just holding on to stuff that doesn't even really belong to you. The need for approval, the fear of failing, validation from the person you want is heavy, but it's optional. Next time you feel that weight, don't try to solve it. Just lean back and let it solve itself. Stop begging the world for a seat at the table and realize that you're the one that built the table. I'm out.